bodies. Assorted shapes, sizes, colors, contours. Each affirmed her ability to make even modest women want to climb inside her skin like soldiers seeking refuge from the storm. She never stayed long enough to love. Only enough to ignite their attention, but when they began to clear their closet, she talked of traveling and needing a larger space. I knew I never should have gotten involved with that woman. I knew I never should have gotten involved with that woman. Part of her power being she was a bad butch who made women unravel. Come undone at the seams like Wonder Woman beneath her armor was desperate. I knew I never should have gotten involved with that woman, but somewhere inside she moved me to another country.
Oh.
And I started speaking in languages I'd never learned.
Wow.
You know, it's a poem I wrote a while ago.
Nice.
The only thing that could have made Madonna's halftime show any better is if she had added one more smoke machine. And all the angels of black queens could have appeared. Willie Ninja, House of LaBeija, Pendavis, Dorian Corey, Extravaganza, Chanel, and all those pier queens dead now, whose names, like the slaves descended off the shores of Cape Coast or Goree Island, we'll never know. They could have shouted over Nicki Minaj and M.I.A. in a language that they invented, narrating as Madonna strutted and strolled, "Work, Miss Thing," and served the children, adding in the C word as exclamation. And at the end of her gorgeous Super Bowl song, Like a Prayer, she could have bowed, looked up, and said, "Thank you," in a voice no one except her needed to hear.
Yes. Woo! Wow.
The title of Britney's last tour album was called Circus. And she's got it right because that's what it is. Today, they went after Michael Jackson's doctor, wanted someone to blame like someone in a child's game, sick with fear, fever frenzy, needing someone to pin it on. We all know how he died and why. It's obvious we all had stakes in it. He was the village witch, warlock, even had the audacity in broad daylight to change forms. He played the part well, with fit spells, ill judgments like that crazy bitch, Hecuba. He became the symbol of all of our fears, the person with whom we felt safe and superior enough to pin it on. I saw the cover of the New York Post a few days ago, and all it said for that brave brown boy of supernatural talent, all for the boy whose organs were feasted and fed upon, all it said for that king of American music was dead. And our black president remained strangely silent. Today they went after Michael Jackson's doctor like they went after the doctor of Anna Nicole and her lover Howard Stern. Didn't want to say that that tall Texan beauty died long ago. And what was left went with Daniel, her son. She was a train wreck we couldn't stop watching over and over, some new shock and thriller we couldn't get enough of. And this is dark. I wanted to be as bright and shiny as Michael when he sang, "We are the world." But they went after his doctor like they went after Mary-Kate Olsen after Heath Ledger's death. The audacity was how everyone in Hollywood, the tabloids, covered up Ledger's death, called it a tragic accident. Only Deepak Chopra had the courage to say what was felt all along. It was no accident. It was despair. A growing despair. And soon the papers will begin to proclaim what we're all going to feel: dead, mindless, numb, a surface existence moving from one shopping center and competitive sport to another, while the only green allowed to prosper and thrive will be envy. There would be no more reason to write these kind of poems. Not since the 80s, before we discovered in this decade lesbians really do like men. But today the papers and news report the story of a 7-year-old in Trenton, New Jersey, gang raped by a group of men. And then I run into a former student from the old days at the Gay and Lesbian Community Center. She and I talked about a former student I can't remember, said she was a lesbian who went to a party, was gang raped and thrown off of a roof and killed. Her girlfriend, whom we both knew, whom I taught poetry to, was never the same, she said. And the accounts keep pouring in. A young woman in a Manhattan bar followed into a bathroom stall, beaten senselessly, eye removed from the socket after she rejected a man. The young man who sliced his girlfriend ear to ear after she broke up with him. The taxi cab driver who stalked and eventually dismembered a former beauty queen. And no one even talks anymore about those little girls from Juarez, Mexico, disappeared, then murdered. Put together, it seems like there was a little or lots more to those feminists who used to hang out on the main street drags, holding up pornographic pictures of mutilated women and girls, women that Playboy magazine used to put in meat grinders. Yeah, there was a lot more to those feminists with the bad outfits and bowl haircuts, looking like they hadn't been intimate in a long time. Women holding up images you couldn't look past, but tried to. I don't know. I'm sort of like feeling this as I go along, but let's never thought it would have ended this way. Or begun. 15 years later, survivors sitting in Popeye's Chicken, downtown Brooklyn. Our coleslaw and mashed potato cups imprinted with, "We love chicken." Us sitting quietly for hours staring into the afternoon out of Popeye's big glass windows. When we first sat down, Colin smoothed his napkin over his lap. I was impressed at how elegant he was for Popeyes, our gold and silver rings glistening as we ate chicken, brought it to our lips. We, I think, were unlikely customers, but who would have thought decades later we would be sitting together in Popeyes? The sole survivors of a generation gone. Our brothers and sisters gone from AIDS and cancer. We came together accidentally through a show that later funding fell through. We determined bravely, without question, as we always had, both separately and together, to go on. That part of the legacy Donald Woods and Essex Hempel, Audre Lorde, Asado Saint, Pat Parker, Marlon Riggs had left us with was to fight. To never walk away without fighting. Through whatever circumstance to keep going. We had, at least Colin and I, the memory of Asado slamming his hand on the pulpit at Donald's funeral. We know somewhere inside we must always tell the truth. Colin and I are the witnesses, our tribe's counsel. We buried each of those men we saw. And over the years, we haven't spoken much, not even on this project, but today during a rehearsal, during the recitation of a poem, he grabbed my hand, full of trust and innocence, held on, then let go. And for me, even as a poet, that moment meant more than words.
Yes. Yes!
Here we go. I'm gonna do the piece that made me famous, right?
Oh, yes!
We're going back.
Woo!